All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mirphh, and today we're doing a little bit of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I was originally going to pop on here and do our second round of Grand Arena because it's been going fairly well this week so far. We got a dub on our first match, and our second match. As you can see, we hopped in here and we have been full cleared in one attempt on each individual one. And if you want to know why, it's because the person we got paired up against is over 3 times our galactic power. We have 1.3 mil GP. We cannot compete with this. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous if this dude has dropped this low to what Carbonite we're in, because we're still a fairly new account. I hate the way Grand Arena works now. I wish it still worked the way it did when it first released, where it was essentially it doesn't matter what your activity level is, what your ability is. It's all based strictly off your GP. So you could actually go through and min max construct your roster uh, to be as strong as possible with the smallest GP possible, and you would roll through everybody. This new way, it's either I would say 40% of the time, the way it's set up, you're getting destroyed by somebody who completely outclasses your account. Another 40% of the time, you are the one who's completely outclassing another account. Or 20% of the time, it's actually an even match, and it's fairly fun. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the way Grand Arena works nowadays. But one thing I did want to come through and talk about that I recorded a video on last weekend, ended up not editing it or releasing it. I got caught up with work. I wanted to kind of talk about where this account is. I believe we're about 8 weeks in, so the 2 month mark. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. We put out where are you? Where are you? 1 month retrospective. Yeah, that came out a month and 3 days ago. So yeah, we're about 8 weeks in, so 2 months. Um, when I first started making this account and this free to play kind of playlist following this account in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes with kind of what I was predicting was going to be the new meta, none of it was my idea. None of it was proprietarily mine. I did not invent it. I kind of was just watching what other people were theorizing on what the new free to play meta might be. And a lot of people said that going for Jabba first is stupid. The way I was building my account was stupid. Go back to the early videos and look at the comments. Y'all are fucking idiots. You were wrong and I was right. I am vindicated because Arnold, the biggest YouTuber, content creator for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, arguably the biggest one for mobile games in general, at least mobile games that I play, whatever, released his new free-to-play farming guide recently, and guess what? It is almost step for step exactly what I have planned to do and talked about doing, or have adjusted the original plan to over the last 2 months. And I'm not claiming that he stole my ideas, not at all. None of them were my ideas in the first place. The reason I'm even mentioning it is just because fuck y'all. I was right. Y'all were wrong. Not all of you. A lot of you guys were agreeing with it. But I really do think that like this is the way to do it. And I had some hiccups along the way. Yes, I started farming Phoenix first instead of just kind of naturally farming out our CLS requirements using that farm out Empire. That put us back probably a week or so farming. But outside of that, I think it's been a pretty good idea so far. And I kind of want to roll back through, kind of give you some account updates over the last couple of weeks and what we've been able to do, as well as kind of where we're going. So strap in if you guys have enjoyed the content so far. If you guys have seen my other stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. Only like 1% of you are subscribed. Make sure you drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are working on right now with your accounts, where you're at. Are you guys kind of following this new free-to-play meta as well? It's not really that new. It's a couple months old at this point, but let's rewind a little bit. So this idea was built around pushing for Jabba as our first galactic legend and really maximizing our potential with the Crate Dragon raid as an early free-to-play account. And the way we do that is it's really a 3-tiered process. And there's a lot of kind of like mini steps in between. Obviously, I'm not some Photoshop guru. I don't have the money to go out and oh my god, I forget what the fucking word is, to commission Photoshop art What I do is I just like Excel. I like making Excel spreadsheets. And the one that I kind of made for this account followed really three major tiers. The first tier, first phase, is going after Commander Luke. The second phase is going after Jedi Knight Luke. And the final phase is going to be going after Jabba. After that, we're kind of free to go whatever we want. We'll probably still continue down what was recommended in Arnold's video where he was talking about, pivoting the Jedi Master Luke and so on. But anyways, where we're at with this account right now is we're kind of through phase one. Phase one really focused around pushing for Commander Luke Skywalker first. We've got Commander Luke Skywalker. We've got him at gear 12. We've got one Zeta on him so far. And as far as his actual team goes, let's check out our Rebels real quick. So the team that fits around Commander Luke, this is kind of like the mini tiers in between I was talking about, right? So obviously just getting Commander Luke isn't enough. We also want to be able to farm out Chewbacca. We've got him at 6 stars currently. And then we've got Han Solo, we've got unlocked. We're currently working on Ewoks for C-3PO, and then we've got to start farming 3PO and Chewie soon. Even though 3PO and Chewie is not required, I don't believe, at least, for Jabba. I don't recall if he's actually a Jedi Knight Luke requirement. I don't think he is. He's going to be what really ties together the CLS team in the long run. We'll want him. Now, outside of that, some of the other kind of earlier benchmarks for it were going to be our bounty hunters in order to unlock Chewbacca at 7 stars, because we will need him for Jedi Knight Luke, and you will also need him for the CLS team. We've got our bounty hunters already at 7 stars, and right now we're actually really struggling with the tier 7 event. I've actually gone through and recorded at least 2 hours of trying to beat that event, whether it's Boba Fett lead or Bosk lead. I'm having absolutely no luck on any of it. I'm probably going to have to end up just pushing Greedo to gear 12, which won't be a waste because we will need to relic him anyways for Jabba in the long run. But yeah, it really sucks right now, and I'm probably gonna have to just say screw it and slap a Zeta on Bosk to make it easier from his leadership ability. But that's kind of going to round out our phase one, right? Is basically pushing one. We were kind of working on our Imperial Troopers as an early squad, and we still are working on them a little bit with these 4, Iden Versio and then Magma Trooper. We will be pivoting our farm over to Magma Trooper with our Galactic War Crystals very soon. But that was kind of one of our main teams we were focusing on early. Our second one was that Rebel team, and our third one is this Bounty Hunter team. Now, where we're kind of going with this second phase is we're really going to be pushing hard for our Jedi Knight Luke requirements. That's kind of our next big step here. So our next big benchmark goal that I really hope to hit probably in the next 2 months or so is going to be Jedi Knight Luke. And what we need to push for him is we need Wampa right now. We are still farming out Wampa from both our guild event token 1. I forgot what get stood for a second. Our get 1 currency, we're still farming out Wampa with it. And we're also spending our Raid Mark II tokens on it. And I am taking a bit of a break from farming him with the Raid tokens in order to spend that on higher gear for our gear 12 characters like Boba Fett, because it's really difficult to get that gear if you're dumping all of it into the Wampa and Hoda farm. So just kind of a word of caution for you as you build a new account. If you are following more or less the same path I am and you're going after Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, if you're going to double up on the farm for Hoda and Wampa, just make sure that you find a way to continue to get gear income for that gear 12 plus area in order to push for gear 13 in your relics, or kind of maybe do what I'm doing where you focus 1 week on gear, you focus another week on farming, and so on. But if you really focus on one or the other, it's going to put you behind. Now, when it comes to these other characters for Jedi Knight Luke, again, we've got all the requirements for 7-star Chewbacca, and then we've got to push him to relic. We need to put a little more investment into the bounty hunters to push for that. We're currently spending our get 2 on Rolo. Cannot be done with that farm any faster. We're currently building our Ewoks a little bit for C-3PO, and I'll kind of hop over there shortly to kind of show you guys where we're at with that. As far as Captain Han goes, Captain Han is just a Cantina farm, and as far as he goes, I'm honestly kind of saving him for the last requirement because he's not going to be entirely useful for a whole lot of other areas outside of unlocking Jedi Knight Luke. There's a lot of other things I need to spend Cantina currency on, and Cantina is a fairly fast farm, so we will eventually work on him, but not yet. Now we're also going to have to farm out our Millennium Falcon at some point. And right now we're still farming out all of our bounty hunter ships for Executor as well. So really, we will have this soon enough. We're going to be dumping our Galactic War currency into light side ships soon once we finish out our dark side ships farm out of there. Hoda is coming after Wampa. Lando, again, same thing as the Captain Han. We're really waiting on that Cantina farm till later on because there's really no other need for them at the moment. And outside of that, that's kind of our focus for Luke Skywalker. So while we're focusing on Luke Skywalker, some of the other things that we have to focus on are going to be our Ewoks, like I mentioned. So Ewoks, we've got Wicket at 5 stars, we got Chief Chirp at 5 stars, and I think the rest of these guys might. Let's go through and check real quick. So I forget what the actual requirements are as far as shard numbers. I don't want to do the math right now, so I'm just going to rank these dudes up real quick. I believe we've got enough shards for all these guys to push them to 5 stars in order for, at a bare minimum, a C-3PO unlock in order to add to our Commando Luke team. However, the issue is I don't have the gear to put in the Ewoks yet. I really want to push all these guys to gear 11, and then I'm going to Zeta Chief Sherpa's leadership. I'm just going to dump the Zeta and call it good because I don't want to deal with what I'm dealing with the Bounty Hunter event right now. But near future, this is the second tent pole for me to work on right now. My first one is actually going to be Geonosians. As you can see, I'm dumping credits into leveling them all up. We just finished a dark side Geonosian territory battle in which I was not able to contribute to very much. However, by the time the next one gets stood up, I am really hoping that with all the Mark 1 raid currency, I should be able to take all these guys up to, at a minimum, gear 11. My goal is going to be getting all these guys up to gear 12. They're all level 85 with the exception of Poggle. My next batch of credits tomorrow is going to be getting him to 7 stars and then pushing him to level 85 over the next week or so. And then after that, my number one focus with gear after I kind of work on my bounty hunters and finish off this Chewie event is going to be going all towards Geonosians. So right now, our priorities are finish off bounty hunters for Chewbacca, get our Geonosians ready for the Wat Tambor mission, which means they're all going to be gear 12, and then we're going to start working on our Ewoks. And the downside of all that is that none of those teams, well, the Geonosians at least really are going to be the only one that helps us out with Grand Arena. The Ewoks aren't. They're going to be a throwaway defense team. But ultimately, that's where we're at right now. There are other characters that I would love to work on. One thing that I'm also going to be working on during this tier while we push towards Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker is I want to start farming out our Old Republic requirements for Jedi Knight Revan. And another team that I want to build, but not necessarily farm at this time, is going to be the Night Sisters. So these are going to be another kind of passion project of mine over the next couple months. Ideally, at the end of this month, we're going to have a CLS team that will at least have 3PO unlocked. It'll have 3PO and Chewie unlocked. It will have Chewbacca maxed out. And we'll have a full CLS team to work with. We will have a Bounty Hunter squad to work with. We will have our Night Sister squad to work with, a Geonosian squad to work with. We'll have our Iron Versio Imperial Troopers, and we'll have our Ewoks as well. And this will kind of be the core of our Grand Arena teams for now, until we're able to start pushing for Jabba and the rest of the requirements there. So, anyways, that is really where we're at. Another thing that we're also focusing on in the short term, until we're able to farm out the requirements for the Old Republic, is going to be the Jawas. Now, we don't have nearly enough gear to put towards them at the moment, but we are currently farming them. We are farming the Jawas. We'll get them to 7 stars. Jawa Scourge is already done at 7 stars. We're working on Chief Nebit at the moment. Dacia, Jawa, and Jawa Engineer will be coming soon. But yeah, anyways, outside of that, that's kind of where we're at, what we're focusing on. On top of that, for ships, we're currently still farming out the TIE Advanced. We're farming out Xanadu Blood, Houndstooth, and IG-2000 every single day to make sure that we're able to get the Millennium Falcon as soon as possible, and also to make sure that we are meeting the Executor requirements, which means we're also going to be farming out the Imperial TIE Fighter. We are still farming out Razor Crest. One of the longer tent poles as well that we have to focus on at some point is going to be the requirements for Beskar Armor Mando, and I am really not looking forward to that because I don't want to farm out these characters for his event because they fucking suck for the most part. But hey, it's the name of the game. So really, when I look at this tier, what we're looking at doing is, because we're still gated behind Wampa for so long, we're still gated behind Hoda for the Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, which means we can't even get Jedi Knight Luke for at least a few more months here. We have a lot of spare time in between to farm out a lot of these characters. So that's where we're at. That's where we're going. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what teams you're working on. And as always, stay safe. Love you. Bye.